Let's Get It, where we attack today's local or national hottest sports topics. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, and let's get after it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Get It. I'm your host, Randy Dutkin, along with my co-host and producer, Jason Bryce, and always co-host, Coach Marcus Bullock, coming to you after a holiday weekend. A lot to get into tonight. Going to talk about the real red-hot Philadelphia Eagles. And what I know Jay would like that one. Talk about a little bit also about just kind of how COVID, unfortunately, has been impacting the sports society. We're also going to be welcoming Coach Joe Whalen to the show a little later on. But as always, before we get into any sports talk, I love to check in with everyone, see how they're doing. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. It was, a good Christmas with the family, nice and relaxed and laid. Well, I can't say that because Christmas Eve was not laid back. It was a grind. We procrastinated some things like helping Santa do his job. We procrastinated that, which led to a very long night. And then obviously I have a 6-year-old, so which led to a very early morning. Yeah. But, I'm catching up from that sleep. I told myself I was going to give myself, I got off from school on Tuesday. I was going to give myself until today was my last day of doing nothing, just nothing. I got no response. I mean, I have my responsibilities, practice, workouts, but tomorrow I got to kind of buckle down and have a good rest of the week. So
get some things done.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
But all is good.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
Sounds good. And Jay, how about yourself, man?
I guess I'm the same, man. I'm just now probably recovering from the whole Santa. I told my daughter, I said this year, instead of me driving all the way to the North Pole, we arranged a little meeting spot. So we met somewhere.
That's good.
And luckily, I was able to meet him a little early because he had he could fit me in. So I was in bed by 12:30.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And surprisingly, they didn't awake until 8:30. Normally, I mean, we're up like 6:45. So I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I was 6:30.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And, Santa's workshop is working through the night and whatever, you know what I mean? But this year, it's a little different. And you know what? Hey, listen, it went well, man. I cooked and we had a nice Christmas, you know what I mean? Just us at the crib, but it was good. And now, I couldn't even take my day to do nothing was Saturday, Sunday. I had to grind a little bit today. I had to. I got too many things that I'm behind on. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's all good. We're doing well. Looking forward to some more days off, man.
All right. And listen, I know you got a few days off coming up this week.
Yes.
Which is a good thing.
The rest of the week, you know what I'm saying? The rest of the week is off. So, and then plus Monday. So that helps. When you go back? Monday?
Back on Monday.
Oh, nah, I'm back to Tuesday.
That's pretty dope.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. That's a nice addition.
Yeah. I needed that one.
Nice. Yeah, man. Well, that's good. I'm glad you guys had a good Christmas. Santa was
how about
good.
you? I know,
good, man.
I know you know what I'm saying, but how about you though?
Well, we had a good Christmas,
Good,
Santa was good.
Okay.
Santa was good to us.
Okay.
And getting the opportunity to Hanukkah and Christmas. I mean,
right.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Man.
I mean, Christmas. I'm ashamed to say, Christmas is blows Hanukkah out of the water. There's no comparison.
Oh,
so I mean, with all due respect.
Okay.
So I mean, I can tell you from
in the terms of gifting, as you're talking about.
No, just in general.
Oh,
in general. Okay. I mean, there's the excitement. There's no build up to Hanukkah.
Well, we talked about it before. Right. Hanukkah isn't one of the major
exactly.
holidays,
but
it's not a major.
It's not. Not at all. It's probably like I said, fourth on the list. I remember talking about this the same time last year.
Oh wow.
And it was crazy because you were sharing some of the older videos and episodes from a year ago now.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, and how far we've come.
We have come far. I mean, because you do realize this is our last show before 2022. Right? Yes.
Right.
Is it? Yeah, it is, right?
Yeah, it will be.
So I mean, I thought it came up on my timeline. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, where we were to where we're at.
Right.
I mean, listen, we, some things that, could we still do better and this and that, but you know what, listen, we're moving forward, man.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're consistent. And, life is all about consistency and discipline. As long as we have that, we're good, man. So, you know, I mean, kudos to y'all, you know, keeping up the discipline, keeping up the consistency and stuff like that. Because there have been some Sundays that, well, I mean, we've done some early shows.
We've made it. Well, I was gonna say, we've made it where we've done some maneuvering.
Yes.
We definitely have,
Yes.
and you know, on all part. And like I said, it's a commitment that we've made, and you know, I think everyone has enjoyed the growth. You know, just
Absolutely.
seeing that and all the different guests that we've had on, it's been pretty cool to see.
It has.
You know, and it's still fun to see all the responses we get when we put different posts out on,
Sure.
you know, just for example, about our Eagles and about I know you're an Eagles fan now. We got you on board.
Yeah. You know what it is? It's the you know, it is a lot of posts and little comments and stuff. It seemed a little shifted in one direction. But you know, neither here or there. You know what I mean? But
listen,
it's all good.
Look, we're just gonna, we're gonna just put it out there for instead of these incognito, these roundabout ways.
That's fine.
I mean, I have supported Jalen Hurts this season. I'm rooting for the guy to be successful. I mean, I don't know. He is getting no love from the Philadelphia fan base.
No, he's not getting no love. But you know, it's. You know what? I'm gonna tell a story my uncle told me one time, right? No, actually, my mother told me this about my uncle, right? He said, "Oh, my mother said, rest in peace." He said, telling to her brother, he said, "Oh, this, they were out eating somewhere, right, at another person's house, whatever." And they said, "Oh my God, this food is delicious, right? Isn't it delicious?" And he said, "Yeah, it's delicious. It's delicious. It's scrumptious. But then again, I eat anything."
Oh, man.
So was it really scrumptious?
Well,
That's all I'm saying. Like, language is everything.
no, and I understand that.
That's all I'm saying.
But it's why, I mean, it's crazy, just going back to it. Like, the Eagles came back. They won yesterday. They came back to win big over the Giants. I mean, it was, I think, the first half yesterday, everyone was frustrated. 3-3 at the half. They were just playing poor football. They came around, led by the defense in the second half.
How could it be the defense? I mean, listen, you had drop balls, right? Regular dropping balls. So, like, you know what I'm saying? My thing is, if you put up 31 points and a half, I'm not saying that's not kudos to defense, because they only gave up 7, plus that defense is creating other opportunities. But damn, the offense got to be damn good to put up 31 points.
Well, I would say damn good, because they were playing the Giants. But with all due respect, I mean,
Okay,
but I mean, the thing is, listen.
See, that's what I'm saying. See, it's always but I'm just saying. But do you understand that diminishes his contribution or his greatness to what he did yesterday?
No,
when
it
you
does.
say, I just want to.
It absolutely does.
I just want to bring light to it. That's all.
All right, listen, Coach. I know you had some thoughts. So let's hear your thoughts on this.
I mean, I think that, like Jay said, you can't. I think this was just a well-rounded game. I don't think.
Sure.
I think the defense did their job, the offense did their job, and it's hard when a team puts up 31 points and a half to not give them their credit, and it's hard when a team only allows 7 points and 10 points for the game and a half to not give them their credit. So
Absolutely.
I think they both deserve their
Equal
credit.
Right.
The thing that I think is bothering me about this whole thing, and I haven't really felt this really until like this week, is you cannot like Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, but you can't not like him because you like Carson. Like that's the thing. Like, if you don't like Jalen Hurts and you don't think he's good and all that, I'm fine with that. But it can't be because, we should still have Carson. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That ship has sailed. You have to judge Hurts on Hurts. You can't judge him on, like, we don't judge. That's like, you can judge Hurts on McNabb or Cunningham. Like, they're not coming back. Like, they're not coming back. Like, judge them on, if we can't judge, he's not our franchise quarterback because we should still have Wentz. That makes no sense.
No,
it's got to be just based on who he is. He's not the one who got rid of Wentz. He has nothing to do with that. We're moving forward. So if you don't like Hurts because you don't think he's a good quarterback, that's fine. But you can't not like him because you like Wentz. Like that's just showing your ignorance as a fan, as a sports person. Like, that's just dumb.
No, I agree. And I mean, we're seeing it left and right. Like I said, I mean, listen, man, I don't understand. I am a supporter of Jalen Hurts. I don't understand. And I think I've made that fairly clear.
I know. You know what it is? It's I don't listen. First of all, hold up. Before I do any of that, I'm going to clap you up because of your continual posting and updates of stuff like that.
Absolutely.
So he gets 2 claps for that. So I'm not even,
Absolutely.
I don't ever even I don't want you to take this in that regard, okay? But you don't celebrate. It's never been Jalen Hurts with a magnificent performance.
No, that's not true. You go back and look. I've given him his credit where
No. Listen, you said Jalen Hurts again rushed. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's showing consistency. No. It's all in how you read it.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying he once again was able to provide offense and was able to provide an opportunity. He may not have had the throwing number at the end of the day, though.
The big play. See, but your knock on him has always been he can't make the big play.
Right now, that's still the knock.
What is he doing out there but making plays?
No, he is making plays. But
so I don't understand.
He's getting good plays, and the thing is, he's getting help from some very good receivers. I mean, his balls are something that are less to be desired.
No, there was one. I think there was was it the touchdown?
I can't even do this.
There was a touchdown.
You've been trying, right? You got
because I think it might have been the touchdown he threw.
It was the one to Devontae.
Okay, that he just kind of threw up there. Devontae went and got it.
That's the thing. Like, he's making plays, but he's getting help.
But you want your receiver, throw that ball up there. Your receiver is supposed to go up there and get that ball.
No, but the biggest thing, and I think the people in general that I'm seeing, and it's hard not to agree, is talking about the deep ball. I mean, the deep ball is there something to be desired? But he has been able to make the consistent passes. He's not getting a lot of help. But you're saying yesterday in the first half, there was at least 5 drop balls. But there is a lack of ability on the deep ball, for that bomb, but at the end of the day, we're still winning. At the end of the day, the Eagles are 2 wins away from the playoffs.
I mean, listen, I don't know. I've seen him throw deep. And I texted, I guess I trolled it a little bit.
No, you did.
And I'll be like, listen, is that a big play? Is that a big play? Like, I'm just watching and I'm like, what are you, I'm not saying that, is his arm as strong as Carson? Maybe not.
But why are we going there?
No, I'm just saying because that's what he's being compared to.
It is, and it's crazy because at the end of the day.
But his heart is bigger though. Can we at least agree to that? His heart is bigger because Carson couldn't even take the pressure.
No.
He couldn't even take the pressure. And let's even say, now I'm going in, I'm sorry. Carson's getting a whole lot of help from JT.
Yeah.
A lot of help from JT.
MVP of the league.
Well, and let's not forget when he was who he was here that year.
We are who he thought he was.
He got a whole lot of help.
He got a whole lot of help there.
Yeah, he did. I mean, every game, people were talking about that. And I mean, it's funny because, of course, you have that. And then even like last night, Nick Foles led the Bears to like a comeback. And it was, you got people like, see? I even know a guy who's a Foles guy who was like, Foles could do it. Foles could do it. I was like, yeah, I mean, but I've never seen a Eagles team less supported than this team. Like every other year, if the Eagles were sitting at 8-7, 2 wins away from the playoffs, everyone would be hyped, they'd be motivated. And I've never seen a team actually being rooted against more in their hometown than this current Eagles team.
Which is crazy because if you would have said at the beginning of the season, they're going to be 8-7, Hurts is going to be a Pro Bowl alternate, even at that alternate, which means he's going to end up in the Pro Bowl because somebody's not.
Right, absolutely.
Everybody would have signed up for that because at the beginning of the season, everybody said 5 wins, 4 wins, 6 wins. They're 8-7 with a chance for 2 more wins. Washington should be a win. And then Dallas, depending on what happens there, if they're playing guys, not playing, who knows? But like everybody would have signed up for a 9-8, 10-7 season. Everybody would have signed up for
Absolutely. And I mean, now, if you're not rooting for them to make the playoffs and you're rooting for like tonight, if you're rooting for the Saints to win so that it helps the draft pick, like, no, that's not what I don't care about a draft pick. I care about this season, the fact that you can make the playoffs and anything can happen when you come to the playoffs. And in this year of COVID, who knows what could happen? I mean, you could get matched up against an Aaron Rodgers or a Packers team that doesn't have Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
Yeah, and also just that experience of being in the playoffs is huge. Like, there's very few teams that make jumps that go from not making the playoffs to go deep, make deep runs.
Right.
It's usually step by step, unless you add, of course, you're the Bucks and you add Tom Brady and the rest of their All-Star team last year. But like, this team's going to have to take steps. So if they can make the playoffs this year, even if they get knocked out in the first round, then maybe next year it's the next step. Next year it's a step after that. So you got to just keep taking steps forward.
I mean, did you think? And I appreciate you, Randy, because you say, listen, I can't do it. I just can't. So I appreciate you, man. Yo, but let me ask you, like, what's it, 17 game season or 16?
17.
Okay, so we still haven't guaranteed at least with 500, right? Because we're 8-7 right now. So I mean, did you think
you technically can't go 500 in the 17 game season? Mathematically,
okay, yeah, that's true.
But it's okay.
Right, it's true.
That's why that's why your nines count.
That wasn't myself. But here's what I'll say. Like, did you expect that?
No. I thought
so. That's what I'm saying.
I thought 6, maybe 7 wins, but I did not expect. And then when they were sitting at 3-6, we were sitting here saying, you know what? They'll be lucky to win 2 more games this year.
No, listen. Dare I say, Sirianni got a little more fire in him. The systems
if there's anybody that deserves credit too, it's Sirianni. He has turned around his coaching. I can't even argue that.
Okay. You're right.
I can't even argue that.
Okay. Does he deserve credit? Well, is Hurts given the same amount of credit?
No, because people.
I see what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He's not. But even people are even downplaying the fact that he's a Pro Bowl alternate. And I'm like, how? Like, it's an all-star nod. How can you downplay this? Like, if Carson Wentz was here and he was the Pro Bowl quarterback, Carson Wentz. Like, I just don't understand why. And at the end of the day, if you have yourself, we said it before, if you have yourself a quarterback, you are so much further along. So why people are rooting for this, and then people saying, "Oh no, let's go get a veteran quarterback next year. Go trade for Russell Wilson. Go trade for the." No, I don't want that.
I gotta take Sirianni out of the Brett Brown mold. I gotta promote him out of that, because here's why. Let me explain why. Because he came at Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
Yeah. He challenged Jalen Hurts. He got on him, and Hurts even talked about it. Mm-hmm. He said, "Listen, I told him you can coach me hard," and he did it. And that's something Brett Brown would never. And that's part of the reason why we're in where we are with the Sixers, because Brett Brown would never do that.
True, and they can't admit that, but I'm sure that. I wondered because what do you think happened with him though? Because with Sirianni, because he had to adjust. He had to make some adjustments.
I think he's got more of a backbone than we give him credit for at the beginning. And
I don't know about all that.
I think so.
I think he got comfortable and realized, okay, because I think there comes a point where you realize, okay, listen, if I don't do what I need to do, I'm not going to be here. So there comes a point where you're just like,
that's fair.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, I got to do this. And if this doesn't work, I'm out anyway. So I might as well just do it my way.
Right.
Do what I think is right or change whatever it is, because if you don't, you're going to lose your job anyway, especially in a situation like that.
I think he was learning on the fly.
For sure.
And that's fine. And that's okay. But I just think that, listen, Sirianni looks like a coach now. I don't think in the beginning he looked like a deer in headlights.
Yeah, he looked lost.
But now he looks like a coach, just like Hurts is looking like the franchise quarterback.
He is, but I still don't have any confidence that this organization sticks with him.
With Hurts?
I don't have any. Yeah, I just don't. I think that I could see them still making a trade or drafting a QB, with one of the picks that they have next year, and You know, and honestly, like I said, the fan base is still so against him everywhere. It's ridiculous. Like I said, I mean, I'm talking. Listen, I'm talking that there's guys that are just like, he blows, he's got a noodle arm, he can't win games, blah blah blah, and it's it's terrible because
what are you listening to? I want to listen to where I don't get that, I don't hear it. But I don't listen to that. What is that? 97.5, whatever. Yeah. So it's on there that they killing them.
I mean, they're there. I mean, look, I know people with even in my own circle.
Now that I do. Now that I know you know.
Listen, people within my own circle are rooting against him.
Yes,
and I've never
I don't understand it.
And I've never I've never understood why.
Have you asked them why?
No, because they are, and like I've said to you before the show started, because A, they are either a Carsonite. And they're still mad about that. And B, they don't. That's what it all boils down to, is that they never should have gotten rid of Carson. And then this is where we're at now. It's like, listen, get over it, man. She broke up with you.
Let me ask you guys this question: when the Sixers traded AI, were you guys upset? When they traded AI,
no,
you were okay with the trade.
Yeah, because it's like, after a while, it's come on. I mean, what was the problem? I think, was it, I forget what it was, but something that happened.
It was just time to go.
It was just time to go.
So I guess that's a different story. But like, I rooted for AI the rest of his career.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
And I still rooted for the Sixers the rest.
Absolutely.
I still root for the Sixers today.
Absolutely.
Why can't you do both?
And that's,
why can't I root for Carson on the Colts?
Right.
And then root for the Eagles.
I mean, like I said, I have guys who are like Carson made the other night. There was he made one nice throw on the run, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So now, see, that's what I'm talking about. That was what we could have had in Philadelphia. I was like, okay, I hope he succeeds out there. Good for him.
Carson sucked.
He's nothing.
He sucked since that one little pocket. He sucked.
Listen, and there's a reason why even in Indianapolis, they've said, listen, I don't know if you're the answer.
Right.
I mean, and that's his guy, Frank Reich, who was, the one who apparently wanted him. So and like you said, Marcus, I don't understand why people can't just root for Jalen Hurts and root for if you're rooting for the Eagles to lose right now, to me, I can't call you a fan.
Not like what did you say? Not bad for what did you say? Not bad for a quarterback who's not the future in the eyes of many.
He's not.
But I'm just saying, instead of saying, hey, congratulations, Jalen Hurts, job well done, where everybody's against you, job well done. I'm telling you. I'm just saying, listen, I don't understand.
I'm still not sold.
Well,
I'm rooting for him, but I'm not sold. I'm not sold. I don't know what else he has to do.
Sold.
I don't know what he has to do.
I'm not sold that he's going to be a top tier quarterback in the league, but I'm sold enough where this is what we're going to do. We're going to roll with this right now, but let's build up everything else. And then maybe we have to make a change down the line. But I think he's shown that that's not a position of need right now.
No. And that's where it is.
We can look somewhere else.
Right. And that's, we can use him to develop, and see where we're at. Draft other players, because you're going to need guys.
It's all right, Randy.
Listen, man.
Listen. You're my man. You're my friend. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I respect it. But the thing is, the sad thing is, I'm rooting for him to have this huge game. Like, I hope that he,
so you can say something,
so that we can be like, there it is, and then he can push me over the edge, and I can be like,
and he hasn't done that at all this year.
No, he's moving in that direction,
but he hasn't done it.
Listen, I'm talking about that game where he just said, boom.
Carson had that game this year.
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to Carson.
I don't believe that.
I don't know what he's done this year.
Right.
I have looked at him because I want to see how, he's doing as far as compared to Jalen Hurts. So
yeah, that's all good.
Well, listen. With that said, we've been doing a lot of talking about our Eagles, but we're going to switch gears and welcome our guest tonight. We have Coach Joe Whalen from St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Coach, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
All right,
doing good. Good.
Listen,
you're about to see the proverbial coach like a deer in headlights now. That you were referencing before.
I tell you one thing. Listen, I never knew how to pronounce that. Aquinas.
It's actually Aquinas.
Okay. I was going to say Aquinas or Aquinas.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
St.
All right.
Thomas Aquinas. Okay.
Aquinas, yeah. That's what's up.
Well, listen, Coach, like I said, I appreciate you joining us tonight. We've been, just kind of expanding our high school basketball focus over, from last year to early this year. And I know you have some fantastic success I would like to get into a little bit, hear about. I'd also talk a little bit about your own coaching strategies, kind of your team currently. But the first thing, before we get into that, I think, and you sent me this, there's a really awesome story about, if you want to get into a little bit, about 9/11.
Oh.
And I don't know if you want to share that or not with us, or at least a little synopsis of that whole story, because I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, that was I was a 25-year Wall Street guy. Commuted from Long Branch to Wall Street 4 hours a day. Never saw my kids, 4 kids. Couldn't go to their high school games. And, my passion was coaching basketball. I started coaching in a midnight basketball league. President Bush did his 1,000 Points of Light, and I used to coach at the boys club in Asbury Park because I could. It was late at night. It was midnight till 3 or 4 in the morning. I go home, get up and go to work. Then I got lucky enough to start coaching at St. Patrick's in Elizabeth, Al Harrington, Shaheen Holloway.
Wow. Okay.
And I would leave work and go over to practice, and was able to make most of the commitment, but just tremendous opportunity. Kyrie Irving, obviously some really, really good players. Michael Gilchrist, right, who's from down your area.
That's right.
I decided I wanted to get out. So I worked for a commodities firm. I worked for Cantor Fitzgerald in the Trade Center. And 3 weeks before the attack, I retired. I got out and started a basketball program at a charter school in South Belmar, Academy Charter. So, as I said in that article, people can say basketball is their life. I can say it saved my life,
Wow. That's a great,
Wow.
yeah. Wow.
So, you don't have a bad day coaching. You try not to. But, when you put it in perspective,
Right.
And life's all about perspective. Life's all about, teaching these kids to make the right choices, and think of the future, always think of plan B. So, obviously that worked out pretty well. 4 kids, 9 grandchildren later, my quality of life is a lot different now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I said, I really wanted to have our listeners kind of hear a little bit about that story. I thought it was pretty cool. Now, you've had an opportunity to coach at many different stops along the way, coach with some big names. For yourself, what was going along there, I guess, the highlight of that coaching stop so far, the coaching carousel, I should say?
It's tough as an assistant coach. I mean, coaching at St. Pat's with Kevin Boyle and Chris Chavenes, who's now the head coach at the Patrick School. I mean, coaching with Coach Hurley was just, incredible. I mean, they did an article. It's funny. You get a coaching position at a school and you get a full page article. They hire a superintendent and it's a small column. That's a problem I think we have today. But Coach Hurley wrote a recommendation letter for me for the Hall of Fame in New Jersey. And to me, that letter was worth more than actually getting in, if that happens. It's basically saying that as much as I would say I was an influence, he was an influence on my life, I was an influence on his life. We're still very close. I always tell the story that, when I started my own program and started with him, we always talked about, idiosyncrasies and, certain habits you have. And he always talked about vanilla ice cream. And I was like, I got that. I love vanilla ice cream. And he liked the Dallas Cowboys and I liked the Dallas Cowboys. And, then, one of the superstitions he had was he always wore the same khaki pants. They, at one point we had won 72 games in a row. And so I took that challenge as well. Not realizing he washed them between games. He never told me that part. But listen, I like to say I have a Harvard education in basketball. I've learned from some tremendous guys. I'm also the kiss of death. I'm probably, hopefully I'm not going to kill your show. I went to Wisconsin about 4 or 5 years ago. Spent 3 days with Bo Ryan, learned the swing offense, and they lost that year in the national championship to Duke. Next year I went. Yeah, next year I went to the San Antonio Spurs. Spent 2 or 3 days with them. Was lucky enough to get invited down there, and they lost in the NBA final. I took a year off, and then went to Kentucky, and they lost in the final. So about a month and a half ago, I was up at the UConn women's practice, and I think I kind of passed that. So now I have coaches telling me, "Stay away. You're not welcome."
Well, listen. I mean, like I said, I hope we don't get that same impact. Now, here's the thing, though. So, I know that you've had a chance to coach boys, you've coached girls. Just in general, what is your main philosophy as a coach? What do you like? Obviously, you want to make your your student athlete a better person. But what's your main focus as a coach, and how do you kind of approach the game?
You know what, Randy, my goal is to win games. And I know I get pushed back with that, but I'm not reticent or shy about saying that. That's why we're there. But you look at the kids you coach over the years and the ones that reach out to you. We normally say it's 10 years before they realize, that you pushed them and you got them to do things they never thought they could do. But I think recently the kids have been reaching out to me a lot sooner. I have one of my former players is a starting point guard at Army, and said to me that she couldn't have gotten through the stuff she's getting through if we hadn't pushed her the way we pushed her. I think 3 or 4 of my former players at St. Rose are now captains of their college teams, which says a lot. That really means a lot. And of the 13 girls at St. Rose, 11 had full scholarships to college, which is pretty cool. Right. And we had something to do with that. But I'm sure you want to hear the St. Anthony's stories, right? And the St. Pat stories.
I mean, look, like I said, you have an extensive career, record, but definitely, share whatever you feel.
Now, let me ask you a question, though, Coach.
Yep.
How far back with St. Anthony's you go? You go back to like what? Bob Hurley, like little Bob Hurley, or
no? Just after Bobby, Anthony Perry. Remember that team? Anthony played at Georgetown.
Okay.
Rashawn Burno, who's the coach now at Northern Illinois.
Okay.
And all the way up to that. And I had a hand in coaching all those guys at some point, whether it's AAU basketball at the boys club. So yeah, it goes a long way back.
Wow.
Who on that team? Was that Ajmal Bassett?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Now there was a kid on that team because you guys.
Ike Williams, remember Big Ike?
There was like a 7-footer on that team.
Josh Moore.
Where did he end up going?
Josh transferred his sophomore year to I think Elizabeth or no, not Elizabeth. I forget where he went. He ended up going to UCLA for a year or two. I still talk to him. He's living out in the West Coast. He's doing very well.
Because you guys that year, you guys came down and played at Cherry Hill East.
Okay. Yep.
I think I was in 8th grade that year, and I came and watched that game.
Wow.
And I mean, your team was loaded. I mean, Rashad Burns is probably the best defender I've ever seen.
Oh, he took 7 charges in the TLC final.
Yeah, I mean, he was ridiculous. Anthony Perry was one of those guys that you watch and you're just like, he's like when I first saw him in 8th grade, I'm like, that's the best player I've ever seen play basketball.
Wow.
But this guy, Josh Moore, I remember he walked out of the locker room and I was like, wait, no. And I think that year he was a freshman, I believe.
Yep.
And he was just, I mean, it was the biggest person I've ever seen in my life.
Yep.
Wow.
They had Delvon Arrington, who played at Florida State. That was really. I mean, and then the argument is it better than the 2005 team with Dominic Cheek, with the Villanova, Mike Rosario, Tyshawn Taylor. That was a very good team. Right. We went 32-0, won a national championship. That Anthony Perry team played Lower Merion during the year, and Anthony Perry and Rashawn Burno missed school or were late for school because of a snowstorm. And, coach is a take no prisoner guy. So Anthony Perry at the time was the top ranked senior in the country. Kobe Bryant was the top ranked junior in the country. So everybody was looking forward to this matchup, and Bob sat Anthony and he sat Rashawn. So we go down there to play them, and we're down 6 with about 10, 15 seconds to go in a half. And there's a kid, I don't even remember his name, who never started again, but he's guarding Kobe. And Kobe's bringing the ball up, walking it up for the last shot. We're down 6, and this kid tips the ball from in front of Kobe. Coach was big on counting dribbles. for steals. It's, one, you get a rhythm, know the rhythm, and you take it. Well, he took it, and he takes off for a breakaway layup, and your man Kobe comes tearing after him, and sure enough, pins it on the backboard. Delvon Harrington, it's the old tap drill, follows him up, taps it in. So instead of being down 8 or 9, we're down 4 going into halftime. We ended up beating them by 16. We just kind of, went off that play.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's
wow. I always was enamored by the St. Anthony's team. I'm from New York, and I just remember seeing them. They used to come and play in the Bronx Gauchos gym.
Yep.
But this was when Bobby Hurley was in 9th grade.
Okay.
And just to see him get busy though, like he used to play. I think he used to play like against like Malik,
right?
Huh?
They would play Talentine or Rice, yeah.
Right. So they're playing against Malik Sealy. I think Conrad McCray was out there.
Yep.
So they're playing against these teams, and of course we're like, nah, you know what I mean? Like they're gonna get handled. I mean, because it's the Bronx now, you know what I'm saying? Like, anytime anybody from Long Island came out there, we was getting blown by like 50. So it's from New Jersey coming? Get out of here. They're not doing it. But they would hold their own. Right. And Bobby was nice.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, yo, I respect St. Anthony's. That's when I felt I always like became enamored with that school.
Well, I mean, it's year after year of producing really, really good players and really good teams. I mean, there's a trivia question. Like, I think St. Anthony's has like 8 first round NBA draft picks.
Wow.
I don't know if you guys could take a stab at that, who they are, but it starts with David Rivers. You guys are too young to remember David.
Oh no, I'm not Notre Dame. What are you talking about? David Rivers used to get. Oh, he's from Jersey.
Yes, Jersey City.
I didn't know that. David Rivers. Wow, I used to like David Rivers though.
And then the last one is Kyle Anderson. So in between, there's 6 or 7 first round draft picks in there.
Okay, so Terry DeHare.
Right.
Okay, Bob Hurley.
Yep.
Was Danny Hurley was he a first round?
No, Danny wasn't.
So then you're going
Rashawn McLeod.
Okay.
I forgot about him was there.
Right, he went to Duke, right?
Yeah.
Kid Gilchrist. No, that's St. Patrick's, right?
Kid Gilchrist was St. Pat's. And then his name is slipping me. He played at Kentucky. Rod Rhodes.
Oh, Roderick Rhodes. Right. Right.
I mean, that's what listen, we'd have open gyms in the summer at a bingo hall. Literally, it was a bingo hall. We put the chairs away and the baskets up, and every college coach in the country would come in and watch those games. And there's no out of bounds. You're going into the wall where there's nails in them, and some of the greatest basketball you ever want to see in your life. I'll tell you a quick Coach Hurley story. I hope he's not listening, but Anthony Perry, Coach Hurley is the best guy in the world. He's a coach's coach, but I always tell the story of Anthony Perry was being recruited by Lute Olson, and Coach didn't like Lute Olson. Okay. And so Lute Olson flew in from Arizona to watch practice. And what does Bob do? He throws Anthony out 2 minutes into practice.
Well, with that said, we do hope he's listening.
Well, I'll talk to him about coming on next time for you guys. He'd love to do it.
Please do.
That would be something for us, Coach.
Yeah,
we would love to do it.
Oh, listen, we would absolutely love to help. But like I said, I've talked to you a little bit. Just continuing to help us grow, and the more and more guests we come on, especially just continue up the chain of Providency, we would much appreciate that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Oh, that'd be phenomenal. But back to yourself, and your current team that you have, because we always like to highlight the current team. What how obviously so far your season has started. I know you guys were ranked 11th that I last saw. Is that correct? In the I think we're up to 9th or 8th or something now. We won our first game pretty good. Our last 2 we had to postpone because of COVID. So we're just now getting back in the gym. We do 6 o'clock in the morning shooting. From 6 to 8 we shoot, and then from 8 to 10 we practice. Most of my girls will make 500 threes a day. Wow. Wow. So with your team right now, who is who's some of the highlights and the girls that are your leaders?
We have I have a sophomore captain who's really, really good. I mean, we were lucky to get her last year. Amarilla Schubeck, she can really shoot the heck out. I've had some really good shooters. I had a girl, I've had 3 girls lead the state in 3-point shooting. One girl, Kat Phipps, who played at St. Francis in New York, broke the state record for threes in a season. It was like 120, and she made 170. I mean, she could just, I always said if your life depended on it, you want her to take a 3. But
Wow.
So she's up there in that category. I put her with them. Hayley Thompson, another senior, is going to Bryn Mawr in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I have a junior, Jess Cooper, who's a double machine, about 6 feet tall. She's really tough, works hard. We had a girl transfer in from Morris Catholic. Billy Lovett, a friend of mine, coaches them, and she moved closer to our school. Kayla Perez, who's, getting some decent Division I looks. And then we started a freshman. She's about 6 feet tall. She just turned 14. She's got a chance to be really, really good. Leah Crosby. She's got to be, she could be as good as any girl I've ever coached.
Wow.
Wow.
Now, Coach, you had mentioned something that we had been talked about on previous shows here, and we had posted it before. You mentioned your captain, and we have brought it up with other coaches. In your eyes, what makes a captain, and how do you go about selecting a captain?
Well, selecting a captain, what I do is, and the English department likes this. I ask them to write a 2-paragraph essay. I ask them to name 2 people they think should be captain and why. And then the second paragraph is, why should they be captain, the person writing this? And I always tell them that I've got 51% of the vote, so don't get carried away. But it's interesting take to see, it becomes less of a popularity contest, and you kind of get some insight onto what they think of each other and themselves. I mean, some kids will say, well, I shouldn't be captain, or some kids would say, I should be captain because I work hard. And then, I mean, captains mean everything to me. If you would come to one of my practices, my captains run the practice. I mean, I teach them the drills, what to do, and they put the girls to the motions, and I'll throw in another drill that we might have to do going forward. But, what do they say? Good teams are led by their coaches. Great teams are led by their players. And I think that's so true. It really is, peer pressure is tough, and it's something, we all need to get through, right? It's a skill that, that you can combat that and get over it and make decisions and become a leader. Like I said, at least 4 of my former players at St. Rose are captains of their college team. So they must have learned something,
Absolutely. And I like that. That's one of the more interesting answers we've had as far as, having them write it, who they should be, why they should be. And it really is. And like I said, we've had everybody, everyone's always said, we had different answers from different people about, my best player, this player, that player, if they're a senior, I only coach seniors. So it was interesting that you kind of have that. And, obviously you said this year your captain is a sophomore, so it doesn't matter on year or whatnot. It's just more of what they bring to the team.
Actually, one's a senior, one's a sophomore. What I like to do is have an underclassman as a captain, because number one, it gets them better faster. They and then they learn how to be a captain. So their second and third year, it's like an internship. They already know how to do it. They know what's expected. They run the pregame drills. They do a lot. If a player's going to miss practice, they text their captain. They don't text me.
Right.
So I give them a lot of leeway, a lot of responsibility.
Absolutely,
love it.
So, Coach, what do you have for Coach?
Coach, I could talk to you for 3 hours. I love what you're saying. I love your thoughts. Yeah. I got to come back to this shooting in practice.
Yeah,
you guys shoot from 6 to 8.
6 to 8
every morning.
Every morning. Well, over break we will, and then Saturday and Sunday, and during the summer we do.
Okay, and then you practice 8 to 10.
8 to 10.
With that 6 to now, this is going to be nerd basketball talk. I apologize. That 6 to 8 shooting, is that like get in here and get your shots up? Is it? Are you controlling what they're doing, where they're shooting from? How does that work?
We have one of those shooting machines, the dish.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We actually have two. One's broken. So they'll take turns going on and making their 500 shots. At the other end, they'll work on, skills, dribbling, shooting. So it's time well spent, hopefully. It's not just, today was a little lax. I let them talk a little bit, and the person shooting. But those shoot from 16 spots. They'll shoot 10 shots at each spot with 1 second in between that ball kicking out. Yeah. So it's really game-like. And I'm not a guy that, keep your elbow in. If I notice some things, I'll tell them. We just don't have enough time for that.
Absolutely.
I think shooting coaches are overrated. I really do. I think a parent can go out and rebound for your daughter or son and have a great conversation, about life and what's going on. I don't think you can YouTube what the proper form is. Just watch Steph Curry. But what we are is we're considered volume shooters. We shoot so much that it's just muscle memory.
Right. Right. Now I also see on that you've been in the Tournament of Champions multiple times.
Yes.
With that being scheduled to go away after this year, how do you feel about that?
Very disappointed. Very disappointed.
Now, with that, I don't know if you've – I'm sure you've been on teams that have won it, teams that have lost it. When you lose that last game, do you think that takes away anything from your season?
It does. Yeah, I'd be lying to you to tell you if it didn't. You always – listen, I'm old enough to remember every loss. I'm not going to outlive my losses. But that's why we do it. That's the feeling. It's even losing, you get something out of it. And believe me, I'm not a good loser. I'm not a good guy to shake your hand after the game and congratulate you. But I think that's every team I've ever played for, coach. That's the goal, no matter how good we are. Right. That's the litmus test. And I think they're taking things away from the kids. I think they're shortening our season. This argument that other teams can play 2 other games, or it's the same teams that get to it. Well, there's still 4 public schools that get to it. So it's not just the non-public schools. But listen, and I can go on forever on that between public and non-public. I coached in public, and I get the complaints. You recruit, you take my kids. Well, my answer is it's your job to keep your kids. You got to make it so your kids don't. So people tell me I recruit kids. Well, my mea culpa is if I were to come in your living room or meet you somewhere and tell you, send your son or daughter to my school, it's very good academics, but it's going to cost you $15,000 a year. That's a tough sell. You better hope your child gets a college scholarship, right? Because you're basically paying a year's worth of college.
Yeah, right. For sure.
So
absolutely. How about you, Jake?
I do. I guess you know what? That's 6 to 8 and then 8 to 10. That's a rigorous schedule. I love it though. Especially if you want to get better and go to the next level. So my question is that how do you feel like the student athlete responds to that type of rigor? Because I've seen on some hands where some may feel like, I don't get to just be normal or just be a regular kid.
I can't go down the shore.
I can't go down to the shore.
That's our thing.
My thing is that if you want to be, but I'm grown. But if you want to be good at something, then you have to work at it. You got to blood, sweat, tears, and that takes a level of sacrifice and compromising. But they're kids. So, how do you balance that and do all your players buy in? Or do you have to kind of like say, hey, listen, you have to come at them with, you seem like you're a tough love guy. You seem like you're a very lovable guy, but you're a tough lover. So, right. Kind of just maybe articulate.
Well, the issue, it started at St. Rose, the 6 o'clock, and I had one girl show up. Then there was 2, then there was 3, then there was 4. And I would lock the door at 6 o'clock. It can't be 6:30, you come strolling in. You're either in for a penny or in for a pound, as they say. Right. And we were down the shore. And the only one around in Belmar at that time were the fishermen and us. Right. And there's a number of things, Marcus, that I'll tell you. Number one, if your child is getting up at 5:30 in the morning to go practice with me, they're not out the night before running around crazy, right? They're in bed. And I don't know any parent that wouldn't want that. I had a parent, tell me I was tough on her daughter, and I said, listen, I can make your daughter clean her room. Could you? And she says, no, I couldn't. So, so that part of the equation where you keep them, and it started at Long Branch, keeping these kids from running the streets and acting crazy and again, knowing that you got to look at me. Plus, at 10 o'clock, you're done. You go home, you take a nap, you go to your job, you do what you have to do, you go on with your life. That's college basketball. Most college basketball programs have lifting at 6 or study hall. I mean, it's 24 hours. So I prepare these kids, I think, for what their goal is, for what they want to do. It's to play in college. During the season, my girls lift 2 days a week. We're lucky enough to have a strength and conditioning guy on staff at the school. He teaches, and so we'll practice, and for 2 hours a day, except on the weekends, we'll go for that two shooting sessions, and that's a lot. It's almost a college type program. What these girls are going through, right? But most of them want to play at the next level. It's tough. It's tough at our level to coach kids that don't want to. You have to have a special kid. My point guard last year is in nursing school. She's a doll. She was unbelievable, but she's done playing basketball. And I didn't have one problem coaching her. She was self-motivated. She was a lockdown defender. She was absolutely tremendous. But it certainly helps to have kids that are motivated by playing at the next level. And parents want that. They don't want to have to write that check. I wrote that check for 3 kids. I get it,
Right.
No, I get that. Now, with you been coaching for so long, Coach, what do you think? Because I know one of the biggest things now is, with kids being motivated, kids having to have that drive, to understand that we talked a little bit about before. What do you think the biggest changes that you've seen that you've had to make as far as a coach to adjust to the youth now, or have you said you're going to adjust to me? What have you thought as far as with youth now compared to where it used to be?
I think I'm not as intense. I'm more, and I was just telling my family this. I'm going to enjoy it more. I didn't enjoy the wins. We win. We beat St. John Vianney in front of 6,000 people in Monmouth in the Shore Conference Championship by 25, and I was like, wow. I'm going to enjoy it more now. That's, have a better relationship with my kids now that I'm coaching as opposed to when they leave. I want to, be more welcoming and still try to have them toe the line that, when it's time to do business, we have to do business. We have to take care of business. So I certainly feel I've mellowed a little bit,
Okay. Let me ask you real quick though. Did you say you started coaching in 01 or you coached before then?
No, I coached before then. I would take the train over to Jersey City from New York, coach at St. Anthony's. I was coaching the JV team at St. Anthony's. How about this for a backcourt? My St. Anthony's JV team, I had Donald Copeland and Dwayne Lee. Do you remember those names?
I remember those.
I don't. Yeah.
Donald Copeland played at Seton Hall. He's now an assistant there. Played professionally in Puerto Rico. Dwayne Lee was one of Phil Martelli's favorite players out of St. Joe's. Just a great kid.
Did he play for during that year with Jameer and them?
No, he was after. He was after Jameer.
He was after Jameer. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very
Okay. That's Dwayne Jones I'm thinking about.
Yeah,
I think Dwayne's an assistant now, I think, at Quinnipiac.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead, Jay. Sorry.
No. I just, like I said, just like, it's just, what, it's refreshing. Not saying that it wasn't refreshing with the other coaches, but it's just really, you could tell that there's a lot of knowledge that you hold inside. And I share Marcus's sentiments. I could just keep talking basketball.
You know what? I appreciate you guys having me on, but I've done this a long time. If I haven't picked up good stuff, then shame on me.
Right.
Really.
I got you.
Well, listen, I want to ask you this, Coach, before we let you go. Not Marcus's question. I'm going to hold that out to him, and you've kind of already, get a little insight to that. But you've continued to coach. How much longer do you think you want to continue to coach? And when do you know you'll be like, it's time to hang him up?
I don't know. I mean, there's days I wake up and say, I wish I could lose this passion. It's just sometimes overwhelming. And there's days I wake up and say I never want to lose it. So I've got some good players coming in. That'll be ninth graders next year. Listen, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that a lot of the reason they were coming is to play for me. So there's a responsibility there. I mean, having said that, I've bounced around quite a bit. Anytime I sit down in an interview, they look at my resume and say, "You've been here, you've been there," and I always say, "Yeah, but I've been married to the same woman for 41 years."
Well,
absolutely. I don't think there's, like I said, I think that, anyone, all of us here have been coaches or still are coaches now. And like I said, when you get that passion, it's something that you can't replace. And it definitely, there's days it's heavier than others, but you always find that back. Now, Coach, I'm going to throw this over to Marcus, and for usually the final question that we have. So go ahead, Marcus.
I do have one question.
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
All right. So let me just go. Now you, and this is a football question though. So maybe I'll wait till after you ask your question.
Well, I have two questions. One, Coach, I would love to come up and watch one of your practices at some point if that's allowed.
Absolutely. Love to have you.
Awesome. I appreciate that. But the question we ask all our coaches, and you've kind of answered it. So I'm going to ask for another person as well. So we're going to try to get a 2-for-1 here from you. What other coaches that you're connected with do you think would be good for us to have on the show? I know you mentioned Coach Hurley, which we would absolutely love. But is there anybody else that you're close with, or that you think would be good for us?
Chris Chavenis from the Patrick School. Phenomenal.
That'd be phenomenal.
And he would do it. He's phenomenal. He's great.
Awesome.
Okay, and like like Marcus said, if you connect and let me get the information and kind of put the word out, we'll follow up on it.
Yeah.
And like I said, and if there's a chance for Coach Hurley, that would be amazing too.
No, I can almost promise you he'd do it. He's that type of guy. He'd love this. He would.
It's awesome.
But that would be something.
We would love to have him. I've been a fan for a long time.
For sure.
Yeah. So, and you know what? He's a coach's coach. We just had a clinic at school to try to raise some money, and Coach, he always speaks, whether it's a banquet and he came up and he was the first speaker at our clinic, and it was phenomenal. He was phenomenal as always. He does NBA stuff now, so he talks about that. So of course I had to go right after him because I didn't want to make any of the other guys have to go after him. So, and I'll let you go with this, but I started out with, I came up to the gym and Coach was in the parking lot and he's rifling through his car and he's looking for his notes and he's all pissed off. And I said, "Coach, you okay?" And he said, "No, I can't find my notes." And I said, "Well, I gave him mine."
Right. There it is.
Well, like Coach, like I said, I'll definitely be in touch with you afterwards to get that contact going. But Jay has a question for you there.
So you football? You a football guy for NFL football?
I'm not. No.
Okay. All right.
I'm one dimensional. I played rugby. Coming up, I played basketball, obviously, but I don't have a football game. I really don't. Okay. I kind of wish I would branch out a little more. I really don't have any interest other than my 9 grandkids.
I got
no, I'm sure they keep you busy.
Yeah, I was just trying to, because I know from where you are in the state now. Where is St. Thomas?
It's in Edison, but I live in Long Branch. I live Oceanport, Long Branch. I work at Long Branch High School.
Long Branch is off the Garden State, right?
That's correct. 105. Yep.
105. Right. Not too far from Red Bank, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So now, are you more? Well, see, you're not. Well, hey, here we go. Basketball, NBA basketball, though. You do love that.
I do. I coached John Kamunga, right, who was the number 7 pick in the draft. Yeah. Wow. I just texted with him yesterday. Kyrie, Kyle Anderson. So I like to watch those guys. DeAndre Bembry for the Nets. And listen, I went down to the Spurs, and the NBA is a lot more sophisticated than people give them credit for. It's really not just 4 guys clearing out and letting the guy go. They're very sophisticated. So, sure. I'm starting to run a lot of NBA stuff, which the kids like. When you talk, ghost screens and things like that they do for Curry. Kids like that. That we're up on it. That we're finding new and cutting edge things for them.
Right. Now you grew up where, if you don't mind me asking?
New York City.
Oh, New York City. Okay, so you were a Knicks fan.
I was a Celtic fan.
Oh gosh.
That's what everybody at my school said. I grew up in Manhattan on the Upper East Side.
Oh gosh. Oh, okay. So did you like the? All right. So when you moved to Jersey, did you like the Nets?
I still like the Celtics.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
This is
But you know what? I mean, since I got into coaching, and reading Pete Outstum's book on those Knicks, you really appreciate them more now, how good they were. I mean, listen, growing up, I would see Walt Frazier all the time. I'd see Dick Barnett, lived in the same housing area as my mom.
Okay.
He'd come out and shoot baskets. So it's not like today where you never see these guys. These guys were out all day. The Busher would, be out. And, but as a kid, you liked, Dave Cowens and JoJo White, and those were my guys,
I got you. I just, as a Sixers fan, and I grew up in New York, but Dr. J was from Long Island, so that was my connection. But I despise the Celtics. I'm not sure if it was the Celtics and the Lakers. We just despise them, but more the Celtics, though. But I used to love the Knicks, though. The Knicks was.
No, I went up to watch the Celtics practice, and Brad Stevens.
Yeah.
And going to the Spurs, and I went to see the Nets practice too. That was a good practice. But going to the Spurs, it was like IBM. It was like Duke. Everything is structured. Tim Duncan was out double sessions. He was out between sessions shooting on the guns, and Obley's out shooting. These guys are out warming up. With the Celtics, they have a clock running down, when practice is about to start, and it's like 2-1, and Marcus Smart's walking out of the locker room, and just a different dynamic, know?
Yep.
Right.
That tells you a lot about why they are where they are.
Oh, absolutely.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
I tell you, you spoke on how the players used to be out. When growing up in New York, we used to. My mother used to take us to the Knicks games, and I mean the Knicks weren't very good then, though. The ticket was $7.50.
Right.
We used to buy 3 tickets for under $30, but they were garbage. But we used to sit there because you could watch them either come in, someone even coming off the train, like Bill. I met Bill Cartwright, Louis Orr, Rory Sparrow. These, I mean, they were, Bill Cartwright, from just the Bulls or whatever. Right. But Rory Sparrow, Trent Tucker, and all of them, they were just Knicks. So I don't know. Things have changed. Definitely.
I went to a high school. Loyola High School in Manhattan, and the NBA teams from the West Coast would come in and practice. Right. If they had a day, and I mean, as a kid, you see Pete Maravich and Jeff Mullins and some of those old time, the Milwaukee Bucks with Oscar Robertson, and it was just, as a kid, you're like, holy shoot,
Right.
And today, try that today. I mean, it doesn't happen.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah.
No.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Well, listen, as I know, like I said, Marcus and Jay and myself, we could sit here and continue to talk for a long time with you, but we really do appreciate you taking the time tonight. And, some of the stories, your coaching insight has just been phenomenal to listen to. Mm-hmm. I know you have 3 new fans here, and especially another fan who wants to come in and check out one of your practices. Coach, thank you so much. Before I let you go, welcome. Marcus,
don't forget, I got to get up at 5:00 tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. I know. Like I said, I know you made accommodations because you said it was close to the bedtime. So I appreciate it.
I just want to thank you. This has been phenomenal. I'm definitely going to reach out to you about coming up to practice.
Absolutely, love to have you.
I'll definitely be following the team, and I'm definitely a fan. I appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, and we'll be in contact about those connections.
Great. Take care. Good luck,
Coach.
All right. Bye-bye. Hey, I said let's give Coach Whalen, right?
Yes.
Let's give him. Great stuff. Great stuff. Hey, listen, Mark. Listen, if you don't mind, let me ride shotgun. You know what I'm saying? I'll bring my easy pass for the toll.
I would love to go see that.
Man.
Yeah, that was.
Man. Yo, I mean, you know what it felt like? It felt like I was talking to a legend.
Really,
and I think I was. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
It had that vibe, and like I said, and just the stories, and I loved. We've talked about it before, and like I said, no discredit to any of the coaches that we've had on. But his way of making a captain was something that stuck out.
No, I like
you know.
I like the essay.
Yes.
I love the essay, to be honest with you. I loved it. But it was the quote he said. Did he say that great players, great teams? You know what I'm talking about, right?
Good teams are coach led.
Yes.
Great teams are player led.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's right.
He's absolutely right.
It's true. If you know,
absolutely right.
It's true. It's just there was so much knowledge there, so much.
I love how he had, his philosophy on, I want one of my captains to be an underclassman. So that way they're learning. They learn quicker that way. That puts them under the fire. But then also that turnover, you're not worried about. You always have that one person who's in charge coming back the next year.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So that way, when that spring hits after you lose that game, it's time to turn over the team.
Right.
You already know who's going to take charge.
Who's going to take charge?
Which is pretty smart.
Yes.
No, it was awesome, and I know that.
And it wasn't like he, because no matter what, people, some people they pick captains based on, I just like the kid. He's just a nice kid.
Well, this is my best player, so you're going to be my captain, or know.
Yeah, I mean that I can maybe accept more than just, he's just a nice kid.
He's a good kid.
Just a good kid. And there's nothing wrong with I celebrate you being a good kid, but I think that kind of alienates the other kids. Right. So that's my thing. But he seems like, listen, pretty much, and we got that from all the coaches. You know what I mean? Like, you come in here to work, you come in here to get busy, you show your dedication, and then you get promoted for leadership or whatever. Kudos to all the coaches that we've had on, to be honest with you, because even the other day when we were talking about it earlier, when they were playing what was that, Sterling, right? Yeah. D. Ruggieri's, I remember him saying, because we were always talking about that Pensgrove and Woodbury game. I remember him saying to his team, hey, fellas, listen, they think they won. And that's kind of what I felt. His thoughts came into my mind as Sterling, because they really thought.
Yeah, once they took the lead.
They were celebratory. You know what I mean? So we learn a lot of different things from these coaches. So kudos to them. I'm going to give them all a shout out.
Absolutely.
You got some laughter in there too, because I hit another button too.
And I mean, and listen, like I said, it continue to grow. Maybe we'll be fortunate enough to get some other big guests on here.
I think we're going to get Bob Hurley Sr.
Sounds like it.
Yes.
Oh, man. I think I might put the suit on. You know what I'm saying?
I think we all might have to
put the suit on for him. You know what I mean? He's a great coach, though. I just never – you see that? And so if that was ninth grade, I had to be in fifth maybe or sixth grade. So think about it like that. You know how you talked about when you were them coming out to Cherry Hill East. Yeah. I'm a young boy. Mm-hmm. And I remember that. I'll never forget it. Because if you played in that Gaucho gym, that wasn't like a normal gym. That was, you had people in there talking shit. High levels of shit. You know what I'm saying? High level, borderline, it could be,
that environment is what New York gets its name from.
Yes.
The Rucker, that's the Rucker.
Yes, that's up there. Right.
That's just to say, right. It's just, that's where it gets its name,
And for him to go out there, and because you had to know they was clowning him, right? They clowned him, okay? But he was out there getting busy. I said, damn. And then we went to Duke. I was like, yo, I like Duke. But until they played like my dude Anderson Hunt and UNLV, then I'm like, nah, you know what?
That was 91?
Might have been 91.
91, yeah.
Yeah, 90 or 91.
Okay.
Yeah, because the Fab Five was 90. Yeah, I think it was
somewhere in there, you know what I'm saying?
Was that when they went back to back? When Duke went back to back? 91, 92?
Well, they lost to...
Or they went back to back.
They didn't go back to back, but they lost to UNLV. UNLV blew the hell out of them.
Yeah.
But then they came back and beat them.
They came back and beat them.
The next year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then I think they went back to back. So it might have been 91, 92, or whatever.
Yeah, I think that was well, we'll see.
But I used to root for them. You know what I'm saying? I used to root for Hurley. Hurley was I thought he was tough, man.
Oh, yeah.
I was sad to see that he got hurt in that, you know what I'm saying? But he was tough, man. He was tough. I even liked his brother.
Yeah.
Danny. You know what I'm saying? The lefty guy. It was lefty guy, I think, right? He was a lefty. I'm sure he was a lefty. I'm sure. He used to coach too at Seton Hall too, right? I think.
He's at UConn now.
Is he coaching Utah?
UConn, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I used to like him. Used to like them. You know, I mean, I used to even like Terry DeHare too. DeHare.
Bobby's at Arizona State coach.
Oh, right, I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, Terry DeHare. I mean, it's sad to see. You know, I think he might have got locked up though. I think.
Did he?
I'll just show him he takes a turn.
Yeah, I think he might have got locked up.
I don't know. He might have. I don't
And
know.
if he didn't get locked up, then I'm confusing him with John Morton. John Morton might have. Well, either one of them from Seton Hall got locked up. Because I used to like the Seton Hall squad too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, they had and it was not even like, you know, they made it to the final, but they lost though. Right? Did they lose? They lost.
Which year?
Nah, they lost when they had John Morton, Gerald Green, Anthony Avant. They had a shooter, Califascidosis or something like that.
Wait, who?
Seton Hall. You know what I'm talking about. They went to I think it was 89. Was that? Yeah. And
They had one of the Katsikas from East.
what's his name?
Katsikas.
Consequus. Yeah, that's what.
Trail East.
Yeah. Oh, he's from East?
Yeah.
The shooter?
Katsikas, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. That was my squad. And the point guard, the big point guard too, Gerald Green. You know what I'm saying? They were tough, man. So I used to like Carlissimo. So, you know, I mean, him and Spreewell.
Never forget that.
Oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? That was something else though. But yeah, man, you know, just a lot of good things that, you know, came out of Jersey, man.
Oh, I mean, the best, like I said, the basketball and just, you know, like I said, just going back to what Coach was saying, all the experience he has with, you know, all the players he's had, and it's pretty awesome to hear. Like I said, Coach, you know, you want to go up there and check out one of those practices just to help yourself out too.
Yeah.
Is he locked down?
I don't think so.
I don't think then it's John Morton then.
He got into some trouble, but I don't think it was anything like that. Like he's not.
Terry DeHare or John Morton?
Terry DeHare didn't. There's one thing on him, but it's not major.
Oh, I don't know. I think
I mean, from what I'm reading, I don't know. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I thought he went to, like, somebody was doing some commodities thing. And then, yeah, they got into a little bit of a situation. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I think that, you know, yeah. But anyway, that's John Morton then. That's who that is. No, I'm lying. It's not even John Morton. You know who it is?
It's not.
It's Tate George.
Are you sure about this one?
That I know for a fact. That's who it is. Tate George. In Jersey. I think he's from Jersey. Tate George.
I'm
Tate George. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at his suit in court.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Because he used to play for UConn.
Yeah, sentenced to 9 years.
Yeah. Tate George. I'm bugging. Yeah.
Well,
Damn,
I mean,
we just threw Terry DeHare on.
I know,
say,
man. Yo, my bad, Terry. Listen, no, oh man, I hope I didn't mess it up.
John Morton's thing came up. He's still coaching. I was like,
no, John Morton hit that shot, man.
Jake just ruined our chances of getting anyone on.
Nah. Listen, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan, man.
I know.
You know, we used to play ball. I love. My family loved, my brother, we loved basketball so much that we couldn't afford, well, maybe we could, I don't know. My father was it was cheap. I mean, it was the definition of cheap, man. So we couldn't get the little hang up on the door. You know how you get the little hang up thing?
Yeah.
Nah, we used to get a hanger and open it up like a goal. And then stick it on the top of the door. And then that would be one end of the court. And then the other end of the court was a yellow laundry basket.
Okay.
And we used to play full court with the tennis ball. And my brother fouled me and I flew through the big sliding glass screen door.
And that was it. Was that it?
No, but we kept playing. No. I was gonna say, but we used to love to mimic. Oh man, I loved basketball.
Yes.
Like I still do though. I think that's why I said to you, I still love it. I do, man. I can't help myself, man. I mean, it's just a great game.
It is.
Guess how you feel about baseball.
It is. I mean, it is. I mean, but you know, I had a passion for basketball too. I remember having a basket in my basement constantly for hours, make up games. You know, just be down there. you know,
Yeah.
it's just awesome.
Were you practicing your shot?
Well, I mean, obviously you saw that practice. In the basement, I was a baller in my basement. But you know, I remember actually it's funny. I remember at my bar mitzvah, we had a little basketball net. I mean, a dunk competition at my bar mitzvah. So I remember
cool.
that. Yes.
Cool.
Matter of fact, you and the missus, y'all had that. I thought that was cool.
Oh, the dunk
too.
competition.
That was super cool, man. Yeah.
Listen, that was fun.
You lost.
You
I
lost,
did.
right?
I did.
Yeah.
She kicked my ass.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't think that she was gonna go that hard, and then she was like, and she went hard.
Do kids love stuff? Sports like that? I guess they still do, right? When they're not the same, is it the same? I don't know.
I think the you loved it just because you loved the sport.
Yes.
I think a lot of kids now, and there's some kids that definitely obviously still do that, but I think the majority of the kids love it for either what it can get them or where they're trying to get to or
what it brings, right?
What it brings.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I say it about Paul George all the time. I think Paul George, he loves basketball, of course, but he loves being an NBA basketball player.
Yeah, I got you.
Do you know what I mean? It's not about winning. It's
The
not
game.
about
Right,
It's
right.
about being able to walk down the street.
Say, I'm
Paul George.
PG. I'm
Right.
PG-13.
Right. It's like that stuff that comes with it. To be able to walk on the court and fix
Right,
all
right.
that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what I think he loves about. But I think, there's definitely some kids who still have that. But I don't think that's the majority anymore.
No.
That's sad.
So who do you think in the NBA still loves basketball?
I think Steph Curry still loves it.
I was gonna say Steph.
Giannis.
Giannis,
Giannis, absolutely.
Embiid?
That's a good question.
No, I think Embiid loves basketball.
I do.
I think Embiid loves basketball.
Ben Simmons clearly doesn't.
Clearly
No,
doesn't.
I don't even know who
Clearly. Right?
But I think a guy like you know who loves it? It's the guys that are in the league or try in the G League or in the guys who have no shot. Like that guy Andre Ingram who the Lakers, he was in the G League for 15 years and
Right.
the Lakers brought him up for one game. Like those kind of guys.
Right.
Like
I remember
They
that.
love it. Yeah.
I remember that. So
Chris Paul loves basketball.
Chris Paul, LeBron loves basketball.
Yes.
You know,
I remember I forgot.
Luka.
I forgot a story with my son, where me and his mother was talking about this a couple of days ago. He didn't want to be called Jason Bryce no more. He wanted to be called James Bryce. After LeBron James. And the thing about it is that, I got the footage of it. I was taking footage from
How old was he?
So this
Like
had to
2
be
weeks ago.
this had to be like 2011.
God.
Like 12.
so it was about 6.
6, 7.
Somewhere around 6, 7.
That's hilarious.
He had this red shirt and it said James Bryce.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? So that's somebody that I get it. Like, so he was a kid, he loved it. He loved LeBron. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's how I was with Julius or Barkley or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't see kids loving it.
Yeah.
Like
The passion for like you said, in general, whatever sport it may be, it's not there like it used to be. Like they eat, breathe, sleep. I
think our Voorhees kids did because then we used to when because Steph changed the game, right?
Sure.
So when Steph started shooting bombs, you know what I'm saying? You saw kids shooting bombs, but it was more the mouthpiece. They had to get the mouthpiece to chew on.
Oh, they have
on
the big
one
thing
sleeve.
was the sleeve is a big thing. Like now everyone needs a shooting sleeve.
Yeah, I remember I felt bad, man. I just ain't had no money, man. We couldn't afford them little knee pads. Jay took his socks and just made socks, knee pads. Couldn't afford them, you know what I'm saying? But I guess they still love it. It's just different, like you said.
It is. I mean, it definitely is. But we always talk about saying, I think the sports are still out there. Like I said, for those who really want it and the ones that still want to play, that passion is still there. And it's cool too to see, like, I know there's still a lot of coaches out there with the passion and passing it along. You know, so
but those are the coaches that I admire, not, you know, because the coaches they're charged with the responsibility of making their players not just better players, but also better men, and not alienating them. You know what I'm saying? So they look for that person to create that opportunity for them, and they got to take that seriously. So there are, I mean, I'm sure there are some coaches that's like, listen, I'm not into all of that. I just want to make sure that these players can propel me.
That's it.
And my victories.
Well, the best, like you just said, the best coaches are, how can I make my players better? What can I do for my players? Not what can my players do for me?
Right.
You know, because that's really what it is. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, like, you know, the coach had on today, he said, you know, these players reach out to you, or, you know, then they reach back out to you. And when they're reaching out to you in off seasons, off peak times, that's when you know you're making an impact.
Right.
Well,
So
I also like how he didn't sugarcoat it and said, I'm here to win.
Yo, straight up.
You know what I mean? And a lot of coaches won't say that.
Right.
But he said, I'm here to win. But I think what comes with that, like, I'm here to win. So here's what I do to win.
Right.
Like, everything he's doing to win is doing all the other things we're talking about.
Right.
Yes.
Shaping and molding you.
Exactly.
Right.
So, I mean, I think it comes, but I think as a coach, and I guess as a coach at a private school, it's a little bit different than a public school, but I'm here to win.
Right.
Like, that's my job here. I'm here to win, and here's how I'm going to win.
Right.
But now when you see his blueprint on how we win, as a parent, I'm like, I want my kid in that. Because one, we're going to win. Two, she's going to get better. But three, he's molding her and giving her the discipline, the work ethic, all that stuff that you want from your coach.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, so, well, listen, like I said, it's been a great show. I know, you know, and
very enlightening, actually.
I know it's one of those ones that you get motivated when you're done this. You're like, all right, you know, what I want to do next. You may get back to the drawing board after this a little bit, Coach.
Well, I mean, either way, I was going home to watch film after this anyway. But I think I'll have a little bit of like
little pep in your step.
Yeah, I'll be watching a little bit closer.
So, you know, like I said, we kind of didn't get too much into any other sports. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on. You know, one interesting thing, and I mentioned it to Marks before the show started, was just kind of like NBA that's been riddled with COVID. Like now the Bulls, Lonzo Ball just entered COVID protocol, the 14th player. And it was interesting because now all of a sudden they just changed that there's only a 6-day quarantine. And I said to Marcus, I said, you know, it's sad. That's not for the betterment of the league. That is because they know that the product on the court right now is horrendous.
But also, I mean, depending on your vaccination status, that stuff matters.
I know.
And then it's, you know what I'm learning is that it's all about symptoms.
Yes.
Right. And I think for this rule that they put in place, it's a 6-day. If you're obviously you test positive, you get, if you're vaccinated, asymptomatic, and can pass 2 tests in 24 hours, then it's only 6 days.
Okay.
So there's definitely things in place that have to go right for you. But I think that's going to be the majority of the people, which is good because it gets them out. But yeah, I mean, listen, it's a tough. All these leagues are in a tough spot.
Oh, absolutely. There's no right or wrong.
Not just leagues.
Well, everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's nothing you could do about it.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. It's here and it's here to stay. I don't care if you call it Delta, Omicron, or whatever the next Megatron, whatever next is going to be. It's here.
It is.
And you need to, be mindful, and you need to put up that defense. However you want to do it. I'm not even trying to be judgmental on it, but however you want to do it. Right. You need to know that this ain't going nowhere.
No, it's not. And it's not, unfortunately.
No.
So, well, we'll see. I mean, like I said, the just in touch with the Sixers real quick. They got back on the winning track. And B with a huge night last night against the Wizards.
Yeah. Shout out Tyrese Maxey, man. What he was going through, man. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right here in our town too, man. You know. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. You know, man. But even how he responded, right? Because he played well. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm nervous for him because that they going into a hotbed. DC's a hotbed for Omicron right now.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I'm saying.
But
they played well. They got
to. Again, it's at this point, like I said, they're 17 and 16 now. I think that they improved to. It's just kind of going through the motions right now. We'll check back in when something happens with Simmons.
What do you think if? I was thinking about last night. I was like, yo, you know what? how would it come across if Embiid was to be like, you know what? He's humbling himself to say, we need Ben. What if he was to put that out there? Like, and be like, you know what I'm saying? You think that would make a difference?
I don't. I think Simmons is done, man. I just don't think
he doesn't possess that type of level of basketball prowess to just, because some guys are just like, yo, you know, like Jimmy Butler, I just love the hoop.
Obviously, I think that's. I don't think Ben's ever been that guy who just loves the hoop. Like he set out the NIT when he was at LSU, like a guy who just wants to hoop. Like, so I don't know. Like I don't think that's who he is. I think I'm not playing for the Sixers no matter what happens. So I mean, I think that would be a waste of time. Like I don't think.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would do anything but because I don't think anyone right now on the Sixers roster or in the organization can say anything or do anything that's going to have him say, okay, I'm going to come back and play for the Sixers and try to elevate or change my game.
And Danny Green said on a podcast recently, you know, they haven't seen Ben in weeks. They have no idea what Ben's doing. He doesn't respond to any of those guys. Like, so it's like, it's hard. And he made a great point because he said, you know, Ben wants to get traded, but what happens now if I get traded with Ben? I don't have a relationship with him anymore. So now we're going into the same team, but now our relationship's already fractured. So now Ben's putting people in, like, you don't have, and he made a good point. You don't have
he said that? Wow.
Yeah, he's like, so, you know, he's like, you're alienating your teammates who might be your teammates somewhere else. So now it's like, if you know, he said himself, he's like, I hear about trades about myself every day. But now if I get traded with Ben, like our relationship isn't the same. So now that usually when you get traded with someone, you have that person that you're going there with, that you're cool with. He's like, that wouldn't be with anybody on the team because he's made it that, you know, he's alienated everybody.
Yeah.
And he said, like, you don't have to talk to anybody. Like, you don't have to talk to them, but we're not them. We're not the coaches.
We're still your team.
We're still teammates. Like,
you're still you guys to go to battle with.
So, like, it was interesting to hear him say that.
Well, I mean, it's a good point, though, Jay. It's a good thought.
It's a great point. I mean, listen, we're not going nowhere without Ben.
For sure.
I mean, that's the bottom line. I don't care I don't know what we're gonna do. We just don't have enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just don't have enough, man.
No, you know, and we don't. And I'm just, you know, right now though, too. I said, you know, with the teams with the injuries and COVID and this and that, you don't know anything about the league right now. At the end of the day, you know that the main teams are going to be there if they're healthy, but you don't really know what you have and what you don't have.
Yeah,
so.
I still think the Lakers are going to be there. My boy was like, nah, they're garbage, they this and that, but they're going to be there. They're going to be there.
You know how they do awards? I think if they should do most disappointing awards.
Sure. It would be them.
It would be, well, I'm talking about players.
Oh.
It would be Anthony Davis.
Or Russell.
Russ is who we thought he was.
Well, really? With all them damn turnovers?
I think Russ is who we thought he was.
Yeah. But it's funny because Russ is feeling the pressure because I don't know if you saw the other day he made a quote and he was like, oh, people think I'm supposed to just come out and average, you know, fit triple doubles every day like it's nothing.
Nah. I don't think people thought that. People thought you wasn't turning the ball over like that.
Well, no, but
he's turning the ball over at an alarming rate.
Yeah, but you could just see that the pressure is building a little bit on him.
I don't know if they know what to do. Like, I think Tyronn Lue would be good for them. If, you know, he's that type of coach that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Vogel. I
think Vogel's a good coach.
I think he is too.
I don't
know if he's a good coach for that particular contingent. I don't think so. And he was good enough to win the chip.
But I mean, you got guys like, but I mean, I put it on Anthony Davis. I just Anthony Davis is supposed to be taking the heat off of LeBron, so LeBron can kind of just be the second guy,
right,
and then be the best player when he needs to be. But Anthony, I mean, he's hurt now, but even before then, he hasn't been the same since the bubble.
Yeah,
even all last year, he wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't. Right. So I mean, I think he's been a huge disappointment. And you know, I would love to hear what LeBron really thinks.
Oh yeah, well, he's never saying that.
No, I know that. But I would just love to hear what he thinks about the team.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy is the only player, in my opinion, other than LeBron, who's still having a great year, that's living up to what he should be doing. Melo.
Yes.
The only one.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because Melo's, you know, Melo was a throw-in. Okay, we'll get Melo.
Yeah.
But he's, you know,
we'll bring your buddy over. Come on.
And he's the only one who's doing his job.
I like Milwaukee though. I still like Milwaukee.
Yeah.
I do.
Milwaukee's tough.
I just thought they had a nice balanced. I mean, I think they lost something with PJ, but then they gained something with who's the guard from Duke?
Grayson Allen.
Right. They gained something. No, but they gained something. He's tough though.
DiVincenzo's back now.
DiVincenzo's back. Yo, they're all right, man. They're all right. And what's it? Crazy Bobby. See, Crazy Bobby. Crazy Bobby is all right.
I can't ever root for Grayson Allen, man. I just can't stand him.
Nah, you know what? I can root for the Bucks.
Okay.
Like just because I like Drew Holiday, I just like their team.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like their team. You know, yeah, I mean, you know, I just like their team. I just look at them. I can root for Phoenix too, a little bit. You know, a little bit. I can root for the Warriors. Warriors are gonna be phenomenal.
Warriors gonna go. Listen, they're gonna win the West. Watch, they're gonna win the West.
Yeah, who else is out there other than Phoenix, right?
I mean, Utah.
I don't believe.
I mean, I think they're playing better. Like, they're playing better playoff basketball right now.
Okay.
I still don't think they're better than Utah. I mean, better than Phoenix, better than Golden State. I even would struggle to pick them over the Lakers right now in a series. Right. But they're playing. I feel like they're playing more. It's not just like rah team. It's Donovan Mitchell, go do your thing,
right?
And then we'll figure it out around you, which I think is more of a playoff type thing.
Mm. Yeah, I'm laughing at myself because I like different opportunities, and I'm trying to apply for different jobs. I don't know. I'm just seeing what's out there on a part-time level. Not my main, but like a little part-time thing, just to switch up something, man. So I said I was going to apply to be a server, a waiter. Right, just a waiter, right? You get some tips and, you serve the people. They was like, oh, your resume doesn't say that, Maybe you could be a busser. I'm like, so I said, listen, I may not have experience as a waiter, but you put me in there. Oh, I'm gonna do the thing, and I will be one of your best waiters because ain't nobody got the customer service.
No, customer service.
You know what I'm saying?
You'll be a good waiter,
right?
You be chatting it up.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Which actually might
be giving out counseling advice.
But that might make you on top. But that might actually be your biggest flaw because all of a sudden we're waiting for the food.
But people
don't want to leave. They can't turn the tables over.
Listen,
yeah, sure.
But
they're like, no, this guy's had the same 6 tables.
Listen, waitress 101 is bring the drink, get them drinking. Because if you give me a drink. When the food come out, okay. What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
And maybe some garlic bread if they have it. Or
that's it, right? Yeah. Like, but I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not above the busser, but I'm like, I could wait. Like, I could do my thing.
No, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But, it's all good, though.
I agree.
It's all good, though.
So, well, listen, like I said, it's been a fantastic show. Like I said, we, got into our good debates as always. I saw you also try to draw a coach in on the who you should root for controversy.
I know because he's in Jersey, but he's in Middle Jersey.
But he's from New York, so that changed things up.
Yeah. That does.
Right. But I mean, I'm just saying.
It does.
And he messed up the whole thing when he said something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was like,
you heard me say,
Jay was like, wait a minute, you know what? You guys take over for a minute.
I quit.
Yeah. Jay looked at me like, Brandon, take this one.
You know what? I always felt like you said, I can't do it. You're like, I can't do it.
I was like, oh, yeah, I know. Well, listen, like I said.
But you know what? That's an interesting poll. To poll people in middle or central Jersey to see who they
root for.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's definitely a line.
There is. And then the I-95 line is what they usually, what people talk about.
So that's like exit 9.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's middle. Because Trenton is still considered south. Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's funny. I started to text y'all Sunday and was going to be like, yo, are y'all rooting for the Giants but I forgot they played in Philly. But if they were to play in Giant Stadium, you would still root for the Giants? I mean, I'm sorry, you would still root for the Eagles?
Yes.
Even though
the New York Giants
that's playing in New Jersey,
but it's not the New Jersey Giants.
But what benefits are we? We're getting those people paying different. It's going towards the tax revenue, right? Right? They paying. I mean, all that stuff helps us, right?
Listen, man.
I'm just saying.
We've established it though.
Okay.
I
leave it alone.
If they played the game at Cherry Hill West Stadium. we might have a different
Yeah,
conversation.
fair enough.
That's,
Yeah. Then
or somewhere in Trenton,
Okay.
we might have a different conversation.
If then I'm
They're in North Jersey. Remember that other state?
I know, but we benefit from the revenue.
and nobody cares about the tax revenue of the sports team.
Well, I'm just saying we benefit
That's
on
great.
it.
So when they play their home games and the Jets play their home games, we're like, thank you for coming. Thank you for playing.
Thank you for playing.
That's it. Thank you.
That's it. That's it.
Thank you. We acknowledge. We tip our hats.
We do. We thank
And
you.
that's it.
Thank you for coming.
That's
Oh man.
it's all good.
Well, listen. What's your final thought, Jay? Tonight.
Nah, yo, you know what? Listen, hey, listen, I appreciate you guys, man. I'm grateful to be in the presence of you guys doing this show.
Presence of greatness. You're welcome.
We've come a long way, and I think we still got a long way to go. And I think we got a long, a lot ahead of us. I see us moving into that new realm. I see it happening. When it's going, I don't know, but I see it happening. So I just enjoy being on a journey with you guys, man. So I'm thankful for that. Trying to just get in tune for 2022, man. In tune for 22. That's what
In
it's
tune for 22.
in tune for 22, man. Because at the end of the year, what do? You sit and you count your wins and losses. You think about this. You think about that. You think about how you can improve. So
Yes.
that's what I'm grateful for. Family, grateful for family that's still here, family that transitioned, and just counting blessings, man. That's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Coach?
No, I mean that was very well said.
Kind of caught me off guard.
Yeah, that was very well said. No, and I share a lot of that. 2021 was a rough year for me and my family. So definitely looking forward to 2022, but also remembering things that happened and moving forward with those in mind and in heart. And just always, like every year, you try to make it better than the last. And my thing I always try to say to myself is just be the person that you want to be or that you think you should be, and just try to make decisions based on that. So that's kind of what I'm trying to live by in 2022. And this show has been awesome for me, just as an outlet. Like just come out here. I know I have this 2 hours every week where we're just gonna chill and talk, and sometimes we talk about absolutely nothing,
right.
and that's okay. That's cool, man.
Right.
But no, and thank you to everybody who's been on the ride with us. It's like you said, I agree with Jay. I think we're coming into some big things, and I think it's gonna go quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I was gonna say it, 100%. I think like taking in the new year, I know it's me, excited. 2021 was a good year, I have to say, knock on wood. And always just trying to say now, especially at the time period that we're living in, is don't put off to tomorrow what you can do today. And I try to maintain with that mentality where I'm gonna do that tomorrow. But even if it's things you don't want to do, but something that you may, like exercising or doing something, like, what? You should be grateful that you have the choice to go outside and take a walk. You have you can get up and physically do it. You're still here to do it. So definitely just going to continue with that mentality, continue to grow personally, professionally. And like I said, I'm excited about where the show's going. I think that, from last year to this time, to this year, to this time, how far we've come. And I think that this time next year, knock on wood, we're going to be in an even better position. And I'm excited for it.
For sure.
So, well, listen, with that said, as always, we want to thank our guest, Coach Joe Whalen from St. Thomas Aquinas High School, who joined us. If you guys got a chance to go back and listen to his interview, it took place right around, let's say, about this 20-minute mark of our show. We'll put it up, and I'm sure we'll get a little clip for you to be able to see. But not just discussions about his own coaching experiences, but some of the players and his philosophies. It was definitely a great experience, and we're thankful for him. And as usual, and as always, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. For Jason Bryce, for Marcus Bullock, I'm Randy Dutkin. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.